Buckle up. This could be a long one. Something Ethan and I are both super passionate about. So. Last episode of the series, Core Values. This one is super close to my heart. Honestly, this is one of the reasons I came to work here at Andy's Roofing was this specific one. So buckle up. This could be a long one. Something Ethan and I are both super passionate about. So, servant's heart. Where did this one come from?
Man, I don't even know where to start with this one. Like, I get kind of giddy inside when I think about servant's heart. Kind of bleeds into everything that I do personally. So, most people don't know my background. So I grew up, and my parents are very religious. My dad is like the unofficial titled assistant pastor at the church that we grew up at, and he would go around and he would preach at all these different churches. And my mom plays the piano, and so she would play the piano, and me and my younger brother, I think my older brother, he was a little too old at that point. He was like going to college and stuff, but like we would travel around to all these places and we would sing specials. And if anybody's grown up like that, like you kind of know, like we were a PK, a preacher's kid, and then my dad was also a deacon for I think 13 years. So I was a DK, I was a deacon's kid.
They always say those PKs are kind of crazy.
Yeah,
they got a bad rep, but you turned out okay.
I turned out all right. It wasn't too bad, but yeah, there's like a huge backstory with that. But I grew up and I had very good influence from my dad and my mom, and really my dad in the ministry. And I learned what true ministry is and what a minister is. And I look at some of these churches and some of these people, and I just shake my head because I had a very good example of it. And like a minister is about 5 to 10% behind a pulpit with a cool little microphone in front of a bunch of people. Yeah. And it's 90 to 95%. The life that you live outside of the pulpit is what gives you the step up to the pulpit to get to talk. And that is my opinion, and I feel like that's the right way to look at it. But some people, they want the title so that then they can stand up there and push their agenda or whatever without the life behind it to prove that they deserve the title. And so like I said, I had very good examples of a dad that gave his life with no expectation of return. Like he was always helping the youth. I mean, God only knows how much money he probably spent $750 to $1 million growing up just on youth events and sponsoring all of the different things and paying for all of the things to get the youth. I mean, my mom was a homeschool teacher. Like she homeschooled us. Like the backstory with her, my mom was going to school to be a brain surgeon. And she was going through her, like, whatever the pre-classes were. She had a presidential scholarship because they didn't have a full ride at that time, but it was the most prestigious thing you could get at Bellarmine. And like to this day, my mom never would tell us, and she still hasn't told us. I wonder if I could look it up, what her ACT score was. Like my mom is probably a registered genius. It's probably like 36 out of 36 or something like that. And so we grew up underneath that, like a very ministry, church-focused home. We sang, like I sang in school. I used to sing in school competitions and stuff like that because we were going back and forth between like homeschooling, and then we went to Shawnee Baptist down in Portland, and then we went to Christian Academy when it was Northside Christian up on the hill, and then we went back to homeschool for all of my high school because I was taking dual credits at Ivy Tech in college. So kind of looping this full circle. So very ministry-focused background. And so I started studying the best home improvement companies out there, and really not even just home improvements, but like the best companies, like Good to Great, that book, Built to Last, all of these different things. And these companies had I start getting goosebumps immediately, like when I start talking about it, but like they had an obsession around the customer. Like how that they viewed the customer, how that the customer viewed them, and how they built their business around what the customer wanted and their feedback. And I looked at so many of them. I mean, I'm a little bit of a research and a bookworm and a nut on that. And like all of that stuff led me back to like, if we're going to build a company, we want it to be all about homeowners and anyone that we serve. Because now we have the commercial division. We're doing, commercial building owners and property managers and anybody that manages those. And like, how do we serve these people better than they've ever been served before in this industry? Like, my niche is roofing. And so like, in the roofing industry, if someone comes in contact with us, how do we serve them better than anybody else? And I'm obsessed with it. Like, I'm actually like addicted to it. Like, I want to know how to make the customer experience 100 million times better than what it is. And it's like, if someone tells me, well, that's just not the way everybody does it, I'm like, oh yeah? Well, bad communication should not be normal. Like, we should obsess and like aggressively go after ways to make communication better. How do we like overshare with these building owners about the condition of their roof and give them lots of options and do all these things? And all of it comes from a place of service where like we are a service business. I think it was I can't remember. I just read it. It was like 78% of the businesses in the United States are service businesses. And we lose our focus, and like, especially in roofing, there's so many of these owners, like they look at the money, and I'm like, okay, you can make money now, but you won't make money later because homeowners will smell commission breath and they will vote for someone else. They will give their money to a different company that better aligns with their needs. And so I said, we will always have job security. I will always be able to support the people that work with me because I have the best people. I mean, like, they're just amazing. And so we want to keep training them and making them even better. And that is just something that, like, it comes from a place of service for me. And so, like, all of the money that, like, I would make that we just keep funneling back into the company because we want these people to be the best, because we want to serve our homeowners. And so we serve our employees and they give back to the homeowners. Like, we're working on our benefits package. We're building a new office. We're doing all of this stuff because it's like, I want people to come and work here forever. Yep. Like, they just retire here. And how we serve those people, I had just the best examples growing up of like my dad giving with no expectation of return. And like a specific example of that is like our project consultants, when they go out to a home and they inspect it, okay, we have a minimum repair and it fluctuates based on demand. So it was like $675, and then I think now it's like $850 or $900 just because there's so much going on. And that minimum repair, if we go out to your home, let's say you're an elderly lady on a fixed income and you have like one nail poking up through the shingle or something like that, like, that is not serving the homeowner by charging them that much money, because that's a lot of money. Okay, like, I'm very aware that's a lot of money. Like, we have overhead, you have different things that go into all of that a lot of people don't see. When you get a scheduler involved that has to schedule all those repairs, then we got to go get all the material and everything before we even show up to do the repair. And you get these trucks and trucks that they could do it for cheaper, but they won't be there next year. Like, they're not serving the homeowner because they're not there to help them later. I mean, like, we just had this storm recently. Like, guys are turning off their work because they cannot build a company that is built around servicing the homeowner's needs at scale. So like, I have a whole training program. Within 4 weeks, we can get a sales rep trained to get out there and they can serve homeowners the best way possible with an upper level of education than anyone in our roofing industry has. And that is what we owe to the homeowner. Like, they deserve that. They deserve the very best. Not like the training that I got, which was horrible when I got into the roofing industry, and pretty much everybody else that's got in the roofing industry, where you're promised all these things, or maybe you weren't. Like, and then they give you carbon copy contracts and say, go tell people over there they have hail damage. That is not serving your employees, which means they're not going to serve your homeowners. And maybe the reason why I'm just extremely passionate about it is because I intentionally put my last name on the line. Okay, like, we used Andes because we had the mountain, the Andes candies, all that other stuff. Like, it's a good reference point, and it was just like, hey, it's my last name, let's roll with it, okay? But I'm putting my last name on the line. Like, my dad periodically will come up and be like, hey, are you making sure you're taking care of homeowners, because like, your last name is my last name. Yeah. And now he's like, I went to him the other day, I was like, Dad, are you proud of me? He's like, man, every time people come up to me and they talk to me about it, he's just like, yeah, I'm proud of you. You know, like, we've built something cool that, like, people can be proud of. Like our employees, like they go out there, like Daniel Kincaid just this morning, he said something about one of our sales reps that went out and they served a homeowner and it was about the customer experience. Like I reward customer experience probably more than the money that you would make off of a roof sale, because that is so much less relevant to me than how did they feel? Like, how did we serve them? Did they get the best option that they chose? You know, my dad, it was one of the things that he taught me growing up. Like I had good role models. And he was just like, always give people options and always give people an out. The whole always give people options is because homeowners, they want to have options, right? But then always give people an out. And that kills all the high pressure sales tactics. When these guys are going in there and they're just getting aggressive and they're trying to make 4-hour sales presentations. And like, I actually did a ride along with a company locally, and I won't mention their name, but you can imagine just all the nonsense that goes into high pressure sales. I was coming out of high school, and it was actually, so I met this guy at the Myers parking lot in Jeff, and I did this ride along with him, and it was like 7 p.m. And we pulled up to the home, and let me put it this way. Okay, it was a leaf protecting gutter company. Like I don't want to say exactly the name, but like I rode with this guy. We went to the people's house, and I didn't know this, but like we walked in their door, and this guy, he has like all this stuff, and he's coming in, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. He was prepared, but then it turned into this really awkward thing where they were just getting the food off the grill. And then this guy proceeded to make them sit there while their food got cold and like started giving all these crazy drops. And it was the Tuesday discount. Like there was no validity to why he could give them a discount. It was just like, it was ridiculous. And it was really awkward. I'm getting cringe and like, it was bad. And then the worst part was I knew the girl because she worked at the bank that I banked at. Like my whole family was there. Like she knew who I was. And I'm sitting there while this guy is being a sleazeball, and let me finish the story and I'll tell you. But like, I was walking out the door. Basically, they finally were just like they kicked us out of the house. Like, they were just like, "Hey, like we got to eat this food. Like y'all are gonna have to reschedule and come back." Like it was so bad, dude. Like it was eye-opening because you hear about high-pressure sales and then you experience it and you're like, oh, man. So we were walking out the door and I was just like, oh, man, I got to go back real quick. And I ran back inside and I was like, oh, my gosh, I am so sorry. I had no idea what I was getting into. I wouldn't feel bad for you guys if you didn't buy anything from this guy. Just please know that I'm doing a ride-along with them and, like, I'm not part of this company. I don't want to be affiliated with this. I don't want you to think bad of me or my family because I'm part of this. And so I remember they had a silver, like they had like a little brick thing that went down and there was a white rug right here and a little concrete pad. And they had, it was either LVP or wood right here. And there was a silver thing on both sides with a little white strip. And I remember to this day, I walked and I put my foot over that when I was leaving that house. And I said, we will never, ever do something like this at Andy's Roofing. Like I will fire someone without thinking twice. Top tenured sales rep, great performance, even if he takes care of homeowners. And I find out he was doing that, he's gone. He's gone the same day, the same second. I'm so visceral about that because I experienced it firsthand. And I was like, I got to see that homeowner interaction dealing with high pressure sales. And so I said, we are going to build something that is so good that people are going to want it. And so there will be no high pressure sales. We're going to give them the best options. We're going to educate them better than any company. We're going to serve these homeowners the way that we would want it done, the way my mom would want it done. If a window salesman came up to their house, like that window salesman better give them the experience that she deserves. So if a roofing salesman that works for me goes up to that home, they will give the best option. They will be educated better than any other company. Like they will not do high pressure nonsense. All of that comes from a place of service. And so going back to our story about the little old lady with the fixed income and all of that and our minimum repair price, all of our project consultants, they have tubes of caulk and caulk guns. That's just part of their normal tool build out that we give them when they come in to work with Andy's Roofing. And they have these caulk tubes, or like we give them a bunch, and they have all that in their truck because they go out and we do free repairs for people. So like, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too much with, all the things that we do. But like one of our biggest secrets of success at Andy's Roofing is the amount of free repairs that we do. And that comes from a place of like, if you have legitimate damage and it's going to cost us a lot of money to do it, I may have to do the minimum repair price, or let's say there's a bunch of shingles and we got to go above and beyond that. Like repairs get really expensive really fast, unfortunately. But if it's something little, like my guys are trained, like do them a solid, help these people, like serve them. And it was comical because there's like, the Bible talks about cast your bread upon the water and return to you after many days. The world calls it reciprocity. Okay. The amount of roofs that we've sold off of free repairs that we did for people are still coming full circle from over 5 years ago when I did them for homeowners. They're calling me back and saying, we can only use your company because we know it's not transactional. It's not just about the money.
Yeah.
And my goal from the very beginning of Andy's Roofing was it's just like, if we serve people, we will never have to worry about jobs. The homeowners will vote for us because they know we care about them. And our job to serve them is we have to be eager to learn. Like we have to go above and beyond to have a positive attitude for these people and create the best experience possible. And then to serve a larger group of homeowners, we have to be the most consistent company. Everything that we do has to be documented, scripted, texted, all of that stuff to where it's like you will get a repeatable experience because you deserve the best, little homeowner. Like you were amazing. Like you were the best thing that ever existed to Ethan Andes. I hate to be like that emotional about it, but it's like if we treat it that way, we will never have to worry about job security. Homeowners will vote for us.
Yeah.
I tell everybody at the office, homeowners sign your paychecks. Every single time they vote for us. And the reason why is like, you have to be grateful for that. Like every time that phone rings, like I get kind of mad. Like, why did we wait for 3 rings on that? That homeowner spent the time to put their little thumb on the thing and click call and called us. Like we owe them. Like we have to serve these people better than anybody else. Give them the best experience. Like that comes from a ministry background for me. But then now our team has adopted it because they've seen that through all of these core values, this is the right way to be. I mean, our company is growing leaps and bounds. I would say we're holding the company back right now.
We are.
Like we can't hire enough good people fast enough because like I can't bring in a project consultant and have him go out in front of homeowners without going through Andy's University. It will never happen again because we did it. As we scaled too fast. We had to dial it back for a whole year. I cut the legs out of the company in the sense of like we had to realign with our core values. I had to fire sales reps that were top producing sales reps, but they did not align with servant's heart. They did not take care of homeowners the Andy's way. It became transactional, and I was just not going to have it. Like it has to be the best. The homeowners deserve the best. And so all of these core values, they're intertwined with each other, eager to learn. We have to be super professional, and we have to come at all of this as like people don't care about our company. Okay, they may have an emotional connection because they trust us or they've seen something before, but they call us because they have a problem. And so I'm sitting over here, I'm like the military. Okay, like there's a lot of similarities the way we do things at Andy's Roofing with our apparel and our systemized process and the amount of training that we do because we're like the military. They don't need us until they need us. But your military better be trained better than everybody else in the United States because they're all just doing their daily whatever. But when they call us, you got to be on, like Johnny on the spot. You got to be ready. You got to be there. You got to give them the best solution possible when they need it. And you got to take care of them. And what we do is when we put all of these core values in action and we pervade that down into every one of our employees that works for Andy's Roofing, not only does it like go out into the community and it changes lives that way. And that's another way that we serve is just through our influence. But we push it all into these people and our employees get confidence because they look around at competitors and different people and they go, you guys are not doing it the right way. And then we call that way the Andy's way. And then now it's just, I don't want to use the analogy of drinking the Kool-Aid because that was such a bad connotation, but it's just like we all bleed green. We all walk and talk and we do things the same way because homeowners have validated our experience. They said, like, you gave us the best. We would never use anybody else because your experience was the best. And going back to a previous episode, like, we are not perfect, but I will tell you from everything that we do is coming from the owner. My goal is pure. Like I want to give the best experience possible. Whenever you do over 1,000 roofs a year, sometimes we just drop the ball. Like sometimes stuff happens. And then as soon as it happens, I get involved and I'm like, we have a general manager. Like I'm a lot less accessible now as before. And so it just kind of tears my heart out that I can't go to every single homeowner's house and help them the way that I want to. But my obligation is to now train a general manager that then mentors and trains, marketing, sales, production, data admin, all this stuff on the back end, all of those areas. And it pours from the top down from me through him to all of these people down to our project consultants and our repair technicians and our site supervisors and our commercial service technicians and our commercial production manager, all of these things, and goes down because the homeowner is the one that matters the most. And that is just like, we will never stop trying to get better. And we will not do it. Like we'll never stop trying to do that consistently. And we'll never not be professional. So where that originated from is my dad told me, he said, if you can't be professional where you are, you shouldn't be there. And that comes from a place of like, my dad started his business. He runs a promotional apparel company. So like some of our shirts and pins and things, like he did a lot of that stuff for us. And that stuff came from like, he would get up, I think I was like 10 or 11 when he started his business in our house. And it was another type thing. We walk a similar path. It was out of necessity. He had to start his business. And he would put on a suit and tie because he was B2B. He was selling to businesses. He would put on a suit and tie, a white shirt and a tie and the whole 9 yards. And he would go down in our basement and my dad would cold call for like 9 hours. It was insane. Like, I don't even know how he did it. I mean, you do it to your eyes bleed. Like, you're just like, we would hear him and he would just do it over and he'd go through the phone book and then he'd find other lists and then he'd get contacts and then he'd do cold calls and then he'd do lunches and then he'd do all these things. And I got to watch somebody grind. And my dad wasn't like, so I started the company at, I think 25 or 26. I think it was 25. Yeah. And he did it whenever he was 35. And so my dad's looking at what I've accomplished and he's like, man, I didn't even start my business. Like I'm 31 right now. And he didn't even start his business until he was 35. So I watched a 35-year-old man like my dad, and he was that professional and he did that much because he cared so much. He was trying to put food on the table, and then his business grew, and then he moved it out of the house. And then it was funny, when I was growing up, we homeschooled in the top of his office because my mom believed when homeschool, like it's almost like a spiritual thing. Like you have to go to a place. You have to have an area that you do that thing. And so we would leave home and we would start at 8:30 every single morning in the upper room of my dad's office. And that is Kevin's office right now. So we're still over there right now. But we're building our new office because we have 31 employees at the time of this. And I mean, I plan on having 100 if we can get them. Like, we want the best people. Like, why would we not? And so all of my background and all of these things are summed up in Servant's Heart, that like from my heart, we want anyone that we come in contact with that we get the opportunity to serve to have the best experience. And that comes from eager to learn. We're not perfect. Like we're building out our commercial service division right now. And then we'll eventually do re-roof projects, but it's like, commercial service means we have to serve them in a small capacity before you get to earn the right to do their re-roof projects and bigger projects like that. And so it's like, it always comes from that. Like we have a repairs department with repair technicians now because not everybody needs a full roof replacement. And so we want to serve them in a small capacity, and later on we'll serve them in a bigger capacity. But some people, you need to prove your worth before they give you bigger things. And the Bible talks about that with the talents and different things. And it's like, we just want to come to people where they are, fully trained, eager to learn with a process, and give them the best in the small little service niche that we are, which is roofing. And that is our company in a nutshell. Is like, we're going to take this thing to the moon. We're going to build the best company that ever existed in roofing, and we're going to make the best people that are going to go back into the community, and we're going to create the best and biggest impact in Southern Indiana and Louisville. That's my only mission. I know it's a big mission, but
dude, you just talked for like 25 straight minutes. If you can't tell, Ethan is passionate about serving people.
This is why he doesn't let me on a podcast.
Yeah, pretty much. But I'll add one thing. I've been here for almost 2 years, and we've given 6, 7 roofs away already. And it has nothing to do with getting money back. It's all about, we partner with the church that had a single mom live in a house. Now they're building a community center that we're a part of.
Yeah, we're doing that other one.
We partnered with Habitat for Humanity. We've built a roof for them. We're doing another one. We just gave a single mom a roof that wasn't a part of that church. She just needed a roof.
That was cool.
We did Roof for Troops with Danny. We want to do more of those. So we care about people. We want to serve people, but not even we. Like, we want everybody in our company to be passionate about that. And if you come here or you apply here and you care about yourself and you're self-promoting and you just want to make money, probably not the right company for you, because it doesn't align with what we believe in the core values. So,
yeah, but to serve people, I mean, like, this is career type pay. If you're willing to move up and do different things, like, it's my obligation to create growth for people to where they can go to different places and move up and make more money and provide for their families and do what they need to do. But it's so much bigger than roofing.
Yep.
We say that it's the Andy's way. It's like, how do we create bigger and better impact in the community?
Well, you heard it here first. We want to make an impact, and we care about the homeowner, and that's what it's all about. So we're ending this series with all of our core values, and like we said, all of these can be kind of interwoven together and talked about, but it funnels down to the Andy's way, and all of these things push it down to that. And if you choose to work at Andy's, or if you choose for Andy's to do your project, I just want you to know, from not the owner, you are getting the best company with the best intentions that you could get. And we appreciate your support, and we will see you next time.